Hey, hi, how are you? Today I'm excited to be sharing one of the presuppositions of NLP. And these presuppositions can be thought of as supportive assumptions that you can be making about yourself, about others, about the world. And they're a lens to look through as you're navigating change, as you're creating shifts. And I see it as an opportunity to help you be a kinder, more compassionate and understanding human. So the one that we're going to dive into is that everyone is doing the best they can with the resources they have available. And that's you, my friend. I know you're doing the best you can. And I have to remind myself of this often. And not only is it of our external resources, but it's also the internal resources we have. And I see this as connected to our nervous system regulation and our emotional state. And so when we think about the nervous system, when we are in a regulated nervous system state, we're emotionally feeling quite calm. We might be under a little bit of stress or pressure, but we feel like we can handle it, right? We've got a sense of confidence, of calmness, of I can take this on. When we become dysregulated, we can become into the fight-flight state, which is activation of the sympathetic branch of our autonomic nervous system. And that brings about an emotional state that's often very heightened energy, very frenetic. We've got kind of anger, overwhelm, frustration. Those are common emotional states that you go into when you become dysregulated towards fight-flight. Or you can become dysregulated towards freeze, faint, fawn. And this is less spoken about. It's one of the branches of the parasympathetic autonomic nervous system. You often hear the parasympathetic connected with the rest and digest, and that is the case, but there are two branches of it. And this freeze, faint, fawn is often when we're kind of in a depressive state. We're a little stuck, we're a little spacey. Often you can go into this state when you're procrastinating, you might notice, and you're just kind of disassociated from what's going on. And when we become in these emotional states, this dysregulation, we're not able to choose our response as easily. When you are regulated and you're kind of grounded and you're with it, that the responses and the way you choose to behave are in reaction or in relation, to who and how you're wanting to be. But when we're disconnected from ourselves by being dysregulated, we're not able to access those inner resources in the same way. We're not able to make those aligned choices and respond to what is going on in our world. And so when you are interacting with either yourself or others in situations, I find this presupposition really helpful to remember that whatever is going on, everyone's doing the best they can with the resources they have available in that moment. So if you notice that you become dysregulated, it's really, really important. The number one thing you can do to support yourself in that moment is work to come back into regulation. And this is, in essence, the practice of emotional fitness, is we notice when we're out of alignment, when we're dysregulated, and we work to bring ourselves back into that regulated state before we go forward. How many times can you think of actions that you've taken that after the fact you're like, oh, I would have done that differently, right? Like I would have made a different choice, or wouldn't have said that. If only we could take back sometimes the words that just blurt out in a reactionary mode. So keep this in mind next time that you find yourself in a situation or you're opposite somebody who is clearly in a dysregulated state. And the more aware you become, the more nuanced and able to pick it up. It becomes for both yourself and others. And so it's a really powerful practice to bring yourself back into regulation. And how you might do that: breathing, our first tool that is always available to us, our breath. We've got EFT tapping. You might just take some space, get up, go for a walk, move your body, do some dancing and some shaking, get the energy shifting through you. We've got sound healing is a really beautiful way in which to help bring yourself back into a vibrational resonance. Exercise, so many people exercise as a way to let off steam and release stress, right? So there are a myriad of ways in which you can support yourself to regulate, and they're beautiful in all their different nuances. So what might work for you in one moment might not be what you need the next day, and so on and so on. So the more comfortable you get with knowing yourself and knowing your states, your emotional state, it means that you can bring yourself back to that regulated place quicker, more efficiently, effectively, and because our behavior is adaptable, and it's our behavior that gets us the results that we're having in life, and it's our emotional state that drives that behavior. Okay, so if you have any comments or questions or shares out of this, please let me know, because this is one of the things that I find the most fascinating about us as humans, and it's been the biggest thing for me to be training within myself as well, is noticing when I'm dysregulated, loving and accepting myself for that, and kindly, compassionately guiding myself back into that regulated zone. Okay, I'm going to leave it there because I could talk about this all day, but send me a message, drop a comment, let me know if this resonated, and we'll connect really soon. Mwah, big love.